Hello everyone, this is Yoshiba again, and today I will show you how to improve your frame rate and enemy visibility in Escape from Tarkov. Please note that this tutorial is aimed on Nvidia users, not on AMD users. I used to have an AMD RX 480, but I had to swap to RTX 2080 Super just because it was not enough for my CPU. So without further ado, let's head straight to the settings. Now this video will be consisting of two parts. First thing is going to be the settings you're going to use on Nvidia control panel. And the second part will be settings you can use in Escape from Tarkov. First of all, before you get started, make sure your drivers are updated and there are no Windows updates available. Because if they are available, well, downloading them through the game will severely impact your performance. To check if you have any updates, please do. Head towards Start, Updates, check for updates. Now you want to click check for updates. If it will show us that there are no necessary updates to install, we're good. However, if you'll see there are any major updates you need to get, like I have the optional one, please do install them. I will not do that now, I will install this after the video. So, you also want to check dev mgmt. Now this MMC panel is basically the list of whole devices list you have on your PC. Now, normally you have one display adapter because I also use something called Space Rack, or what's it called? It's basically a service that allows me to send a secondary display to my mobile phone. It's pretty helpful for streaming or if you want to have a chat window and you don't have a normal secondary screen. Make sure there are no devices with an orange mark on them. If there are none, let's proceed to Nvidia control panel. Now, there are several things you need to do in the control panel. First of all, video color settings. You need to set it on default because there isn't really much to change here. However, okay, my bad, it's actually with the Nvidia settings. Oh, so they moved it. Okay, that's pretty decent, I suppose. Now let's move towards manage 3D settings. You want to head towards program settings, add a program. Now this will load us a list of whole programs we need. Now you see I have default set for Vegas because I used to have problem with it. You want to select escape from Tarkov.exe. If you don't have the program on the whole list here, just search it using browse option. It's usually installed on C, Battlestate Games, EFT Live, escape from Tarkov.exe. Open it and let's head towards it. Now, add disable image sharpening because we're going to do that using a different setting. Anisotropic filtering, use application controlled, FXAA off. Gamma correction will be on because it will help us a bit with clarity. Anti-aliasing, leave it to application controlled. Disable AIA transparency. Now, use these GPUs for CUDA acceleration, select your GPU you're using. Now, low latency mode is debatable. I personally use it on Ultra just to decrease the frame time and to make the game a bit more fluent than it is. Max frame rate, we're leaving this off. This is a pretty good power saving option if you're running something like a laptop. Monitor technology, if you have a monitor just like I do that is compatible with G-Sync, then go for it. Mark it as G-Sync compatible, it will help a bit with the frame tearing or stuttering. MFAA, turn it on. OpenGL rendering GPU, same as before, you're selecting your own GPU, which is RTX 2080 Super in my performance. Now, this is important. Power management mode, set it to prefer maximum performance. Optimal power will decrease the power draw from the GPU at cost of some performance. Preferred refresh rate, highest available. Shader cache. Shader cache, leave it on because you're actually gaining a bit of CPU power thanks to that. Oh wait, it turned it off. Texture filtering, anisotropic sample optimization. Leave it on because that's also decreasing the load on your GPU. Negative LOD bias. It may help a bit with the sharpening of all the textures you have on screen, but it could cause some aliasing. I personally allow it. Now, texture filtering, another important change, use high performance. It may decrease the visual quality a bit, but it will greatly help with your performance. Now, trilinear optimization, leave it on. Threaded optimization on, especially if you have a Ryzen CPU, because it allows the GPU and the app to use all your virtual threads besides the physical ones. Triple buffering, leave it of course on. Vertical sync, you can use the global setting, which is personally I use the 3D application setting because I don't really run VSync, because getting to 40 FPS on Tarkov is just nuts. Well, you can safely skip virtual reality pre-rendered frames. Once you're done, hit apply. Now, you can also head towards display and adjust desktop color settings. Now, take note of the fact that this will affect every app you see, as well as your desktop usage. So, if you want to change these settings globally, adjust them here. If you just want to change things for Escape from Tarkov, then I will explain how to do it a bit later. I've personally tweaked it a bit, so I left the color channels as default. However, I decreased the hue to 0 degrees and maxed out the digital vibrance. Now, this may help a bit with the clarity as well as decrease the eye strain you have, so double the benefits. Now that is everything for the Nvidia control panel. I'll join you soon in Escape from Tarkov. So, be back in a second.
One eternity later.
So, we are back in Escape from Tarkov. Now, the first thing you wish to do is head towards the game settings, and enable Nvidia highlights, disable auto RAM cleaner. Unless you're running less than 8GB of RAM, disable these settings please. Now, you wish to use only the physical cores, solely because of the reason that physical cores are much stronger than the multi-threaded ones. You wish to max out the FOV and decrease the head bobbing because it's insanely annoying. Now let's head towards the graphics. You wish to set the screen resolution as you prefer. I personally run on 1080p. Now, if you want to have a maximum performance, you wish to run the full screen. Now, there is a very simple reason for it. Because I record the game and I use a display capture instead of game capture. Because I also wish to alt tab at times to just read the map on the background or read the chat or whatever. Now disable VSync and keep the aspect ratio same as the screen resolution. Now, texture quality, select high. Texture streaming basically eats too much of your GPU power, it doesn't give that much of an advantage, keep it only on high. Shadows quality, keep it low. There isn't much difference in quality of the shadows between those settings except you're taking more GPU power. LOD quality, keep it low, the game looks pretty good on its own, you don't need to change anything more. Overall visibility, now this is a bit of a strange one, not no flea market, because if you set 400, you're gonna get visual artifacts, but if you select the 3000 meters, you're gonna kill your GPU. Now the sweet spot is 1000 or 1500. If you're running a bigger map like Woods or Customs or Reserve, keep it at 1500. But if you're running tighter maps, you can select it to 1000 and you'll be fine as well. Shadows visibility, keep it on maximum because it can actually give you a bit of an advantage if your enemy crosses a light and you can see the shadow on the wall, so keep it maxed. Anti-aliasing, running TAA because TAA high doesn't give a lot of the difference except for taking more FPS, and FXAA can cause some visual artifacts. Now, resampling is an interesting option. If you have a decent GPU, you can keep it on 1x off and be fine. However, if you wish to push for even more frames or you have a weaker GPU, use downsampling. It will basically decrease the render resolution of the game, keeping the screen resolution the same. Like, if you're running the 1080p, then 0.75 will decrease it to around, I think, 768p or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, it's a pretty nice setting if you have a weaker GPU or want to push the game, or if you want to get pretty decent screenshots, then enable super sampling, but that will kill your GPU. HBAO of course off, SSR of course off. Now anisotropic filtering you can enable per texture, but it doesn't give that much of a difference, so I personally skip it off because it's always those extra 1 or 2 frames. Sharpness, keep it as it is, because it's unnecessary because we're going to bump it anyways using Nvidia game filters. Now, lobby and game FPS limit of course to the maximum. Now, if you wish to improve the visibility of everything around you inside the raid, disable all of those options. They're going to make a lot of difference, especially if you disable noise and the Z-blur. Now, let's save the settings and head towards the hideout to show you what I mean. Let's enter. As you can see, we are in the shooting range. The targets on the back are pretty not visible. So, what you wish to do is hit Alt plus F3. You'll enable the game filters. Now, as you can see on style 1, I already have done these settings, but I'll show you how to add them anyways. First of all, you wish to change the color, and you basically wish to bump up the vibrance even more. You can of course bump the tint color, tint intensity, but as you can see, it's pretty bad, so you don't want to do that. Now you can mess around with the temperatures, making the colors a bit colder or warmer. I personally keep it on 0 because it looks pretty good on its own. Now the second and only option you need is details. Because I have a crappy TN panel, I need to basically bump everything up, and you could already see the difference as it is. Now, you notice that compared to the no filter mode, the target on the back is pretty dim and you can hardly see it. the changed settings, you can see it much more easily. Now, let's try out the weapon. We have an SA-58 here. Now, you can see the target pretty easily. You can see basically the hole in the walls without a problem. Now, if you were to use the no filters, you'll have a bit more problem seeing the bottom of the target as well as precisely where are the holes. So the simple question is it bannable? No, because it's a built-in driver feature and the devs said that it's not cheating, so use this for your own advantage. That will be everything for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future videos. Now, let me know in the comments below if you want to see a flea market trade where you can basically earn around 2-3 million rubles per day without much of a hassle. That will be everything for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.